Hi, hello. Good morning, everybody. So today is class about explosives and its origin, how the explosive have been started, flaring up in worldwide as well, and how it is so useful for mining and civil and rest disciplinaries. So everything we are going to talk about today. So let me share the screen. I hope you can see the screen. Uh, so in the initial screen, you can see different types of explosives and how they are looks like. So a lot of cartridges you can see and a few of boosters and which is combination of PETN and a few explosive vans you can see. And at the right corner, the people how they are charging in the hole. So it's a dry chemical explosive, so it comes in the form of powder. And in the left corner, you can see how the SME directly with the help of explosive vehicle, SME vehicle, they are directly charging in the hole. Yeah. So let's start the slide. So explosive is or explosives or a chemical mixer or compound that, when subject to heat, impact, or shock, or capable of undergoing rapid decomposition, as when the chemical mixer, which is inside of the explosive, on upon external touch or external initiation, whatever the compacted or compressor pressure will be, turns to large form of pressure, temperature, and heat. Our intention, our purpose of conversion of this low energy to high energy is to break the rock and to break or fracture the surrounding strata. Uh, so yeah, so let's see the history and how it is. Yeah. So initially in the around like 10th century, the first explosive was the black powder. It was called as saltpeter or nitrate. So it's initially it was proposed by the Chinese in 10th century. Roger Bacon published a formula in 1242, and subsequently it is carried by Berthold Scavage, invented with another name of gunpowder in 1300th century. The first powder mill in the Mesquite in 1675, though the decisions made in 1200, but finally the product we got material in the year of 1675. So then the Americans, they have, with a lot of concentrations, with a lot of improvisations, they have taken into the next improvisation in the year of 1773. So then after they come back with the black powder, and also you can see in the slide how the manufacturing place looks like for the black powder. You can see the guard, how they are guarding entire place, and the location. You can see storage and so whatever the manufacturing place around Fairferry and the circumference of the manufacturing storage, there was built with a 10 feet of brick wall. So then after, the mining industry, took lot, it's changing up with a lot of phases. Especially, we got a good popularity when dynamite and nitroglycerin, coming to the field of explosive engineering. So discovered by the Ascanio Sobrero in 1846. Then after the Nobel, patent and they built factory in 1861. So after 1861, it took around 5 years of time to take the patent, to take the uh, uh, from the government of from certain government to take the all the patents. Particularly specifically diamond nitroglycerin fulfill few problems whatever we are facing by on the day, like generating of fumes or getting up of some noxious gases, and on the day, explosives, when the temperature falls below around like 8 degrees or 5 degrees, the explosives are used to freeze out, and so it is very tough task or difficult task to make it once again unfreeze. So, and even after unfreezing also, a lot of properties will be missing from the explosive, and which leads to misfire or a flaw in the blasting. You can see some how then after we got ammonium nitrate, which is more powerful and which gives the better solution for the watery holes. Then after water gels, as in the slide, yeah. So this is the simple slide. It's showing a day by day improvisation, day by day advancements in the explosives from 1865 to 1946. So the major milestones are like if you can see in 1884 how the AN became widely used in dynamite formulations. Later on 1946 it is a milestone seriously because we got a millisecond delays. So till the date 1946 we don't have any delay numbers or delays in explosives so that there is a lot of problems associated in the fragmentation and the causing of boulders and generating of fly rock and all. So with this delay and all, gives or it facilitates a proper distance, a proper time interval between the hole to hole. So which producing very less vibration and good fragmentation. So let us start. So the science behind the explosive and the chemistry behind the explosives. When detonation occurs, or when initiation given, when the stage turns to the detonation, the rate of chemical decomposition is greater than the speed of sound. The deflagration occurs when reaction rate is slower than speed of sound. So it comes under category of explosives. And if the let us suppose the deflagration or the burn is going in slow rate, then we are calling as low explosives. So these are the few gas products that comes with the blasting or explosion. So we can categorize these are into two families. One are the harmless, one are the harm. When talk about the harmless gases, we have H2O hydrogen and the CO2, N2, NH4 and CH4. So among all, the CH4 and carbon monoxide are the two prominent gases which causes discomfort or sometimes death to the employee who are working in the area. So we can bifurcate, we can segregate these gases into two majorly. One are noxious, one are poisonous. Poisonous, then the only one gas which impacting on human life in the mining, that is called carbon monoxide. Because with the percentage of 0.01 itself, the person feels suffocation and the palpitation in the blood. Sometimes falling down with the continuous exposure to the said environment. When we talk about the noxious gases, to have that CH4, because it is one gas which easily catches the fire and causes of explosion with an explosion fire dam. One more name it has is marsh gas. The major constraint one should take into account of explosives is oxygen balance. So whatever the explosive, besides of your conditions or your requirements, sir, Vishnu sir. So, so it should give the proper balance to not processing or not giving up of gases or some fumes. So when the oxygen balance is available, if the oxygen balance is up to the mark inside the explosive, it definitely don't possess the gases or something else. Yeah. So so when let us suppose if you want to make any curry or if you want to cook any biryani. So before cooking, we will make available all the ingredients that are inside for required for cooking of a curry or a biryani. Similarly, when you want to make or when you want to make or prepare explosive, the two things majorly required prominently are fuel oil and oxidizer. The fuel oil is like carbon organic and the oxidizers are like oxygen source and all. Yeah. So let us start the properties whatever have to be looking to explosives when we are choosing or when we are selecting. So before that, please let me know any queries are there pertaining to the slides we have covered till now. Please let me know. Yeah, so let us start with the density. Uh, so usually we express it is specific gravity or mass divided by volume as follows. Uh, Simply, let us suppose a hole, a blasting hole, which consisting of water. So whatever the density of explosive, if it is if it is low, so it will float in the hole with respect of water. If the density is high, is more than water, like around like 1.2 or 1.3 gram per centimeter cube or gram per cc, it will goes it will lower down into the hole because it is so weighted than the water. So so we have the two densities, package density, bulk density. So package density is we consider when we are using cartridges. The bulk density it is changes with the minute to minute and by the setting arrangement in the SME or SMS vehicle. So water resistance, yes, it is one more parameter we have to take seriously because it totally depends on the where we are using our explosive and what is our startup condition, what is our environment impact on location and the blasting operations. Because if the area is so slurry or so watery, then the normal powdery explosives will not useful or will not fulfill the requirement. So in that situations, the whatever the explosive we have to use is water resistant. It should withstand with the water. The fume classes, as I mentioned before. So what explosives really, what type of gas is you have to look at before itself. You have to predict. The temperature, yes, few, let us suppose if you are using any explosive in the Himalayas for blasting of freezed ice blocks, and let us suppose you are using explosives wherever the temperature is above 60 or 70 degrees. So definitely our cartridge will be get desensitizer or will be chemically fanned with the environment conditions. So before that we have to do some experiments. Either our cartridges will stand for the extreme low temperature as well extreme high temperature. And one more parameter is shelf life. So the expiry date, every commodity, every product will have the shelf life. So beyond that mentioned date, it will be the sensitivity of the product will be lost, so that whatever the product claimed results will not uh, fulfilled after the expiry date. Similarly, for the explosive cartridge also, as this product is the combination of chemicals, so it gives very adversive effects after the expiry date of the shelf life. So it is so important to look after shelf life and shelf performance. The strength of the explosive is we have the two types in the strength. One is absolute weight strength, one is a relative weight strength. So the strength is it is a capability, it's a capacity, it's a potentiality, it's a substantiality of the explosive. Either it will break or fracture or tear off our aimed rock or not. So let us it all it's directly proportional with the help of with the respect to of rock energy, rock strength, rock capacity. Let us suppose if you're using our explosive which having the moderate strength in any very dam hot strata like sandstone, which having the strength is around 80 to 90 MPa. So definitely the explosive cannot possess reliable results in terms of fragmentation, in terms of fly rock, in terms of vibration, and in terms of any rest is required. So strength is so important. Um, Detonation velocity. So velocity of detonation, detonant velocity, both are same. So at what rate our deflagration is passing, at what rate our shock wave is running, at what rate, at what minute, at what time our shock wave is triggering in the column of the explosive. So it is so important for initiating next holes or next rows or next columns. So you can see the some classification how the low industrial and high explosives are there. So this is the LE stands for low explosive, HE stands for high explosive, BA is the blasting agents. So these are the NG-based explosives and these are the water gels. So the ANFO is available in two forms. One is liquid, one is prill form. Uh, so you can see how the emulsion is there, like in a semi-slurry form. The major the revolution we got in the bulk explosive is from SMS to SME. The SMS stands for slight mixed slurry, and SME stands for slight mixed emulsion. The major the contrast advantages of bower of one and each other is let me go with the example. Let us suppose with the SME SMS we have charged holes with the explosive concentration with the improper uh, um, delay or work delay or breakdown of machinery, which is nearer or around of the patch. So unless the machinery moves away from the patch, we cannot take space for blasting. So in that situation, there will be a requirement of keeping of our holes in sleep conditions. That is called sleeping of the holes. In such situations, the SMS will not be so substantial for standing off long time. It will be get hard. In that cases, SME will having very good nature of without freezing out for a long time, can be useful for next day or next 72 hours even. So these are the boosters and primers. This is the auxiliary image of the booster and all the charging and priming and then. So this is about the explosives and all. So these are the a few pictures of my visit. I have visited Ramagundam mines in the year of 2018. So these are the SME plant in the Ramagundam. So these are it will have the two plants. One is the Bobi, one is the ammonium concentration. So both will comes in one tank and they will be mixed. Then after the both the combination solution will enter into jet mixer. So with high pressure, it will create a lot of viscosity in the nature. So from finally, the SMS vehicles will be get the explosive from the solar tanks. Yeah, so this is all about the explosives and industry. Hope it's understand by you. Uh, yeah, please let me know any doubts or any queries pertaining to our session, please. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.